yeah, it can be quite difficult starting the first sentence. It's kind of like hard to get that sound out of my mouth. That's why, I always do a lot of like cuts and always repeat the same things and try to get the perfect take. This takes out too much time, but anyway, welcome to the third Sunday night report, and I can't believe it, we have been doing this for the third week. And just to let you guys know, I was filming this halfway and I just didn't manage to switch the screen to the other screen, and I just wasted one footage. But anyway, this is the second take and hopefully this is better. And I think the last take was I overshot by so much. This was also supposed to be one take, and anyway, it's fine to make mistakes. And I mean, since all of you who are watching this are actually subscribers who actually believe in me and likes to watch this kind of interaction, so I guess you are a bit fine with this kind of mistakes anyway. So this will be I try to keep it short and sweet, but at the same time, provide enough interaction. And I think this is quite a good opportunity where it kind of feels that spot where I don't really live stream, and this is like a pseudo kind of live stream where I can just interact with you guys. If you want gameplay, you can watch my gameplay, and if you want the talking part, you can kind of watch it here anyway, right? So it makes sense. And the first section of this Sunday night report will always be about the decks that I've been playing, and also I will talk about Legends of Runeterra news and tips and tricks and memes as well, and just read your comments and just talk about life in general. And if you are a new viewer, thanks for watching, and if you are still watching, thanks for continuing. This is still a work in progress, like a rubbish truck on fire. Yeah. But anyway, let's just talk about the decks that I've been playing so far. I think the first week of release, there's so much cards that are being released. I haven't played every single card yet, and it's a bit shameful to say that I actually didn't have enough resources to craft every single card. I mean, you kind of expect a content creator to have all the resources, right? But I don't play enough to have all the resources, and I actually spend a bit of money to get the important cards that people actually want to see. And I think the cards that I'm still missing is Kindred, Silver, and LeBlanc. And hopefully I can get it soon, and I can just play it, I think in the next week or something. And right now I'm just focusing, I think previously I was focused a lot on creating the more generic decks, what people want to play, like Ezra Renekton and Nessus and all this. And right now, having played all that, and a lot of content creators has been creating all this deck, I mean, there's no point for me to create it anymore. There's too much, and you have watched it by now. And the focus of this week really was creating interesting decks, unique combos. And this is what I came out with. And I mean, you're watching this on Sunday, so Saturday you have seen the Katarina Talia deck and Kyrie Fearsome. I'm just gonna assume that people who watch this are those who follow the channel for quite a bit, and you have watched these two videos. Basically, Katarina Talia's like TLDR, too long didn't read. Katarina Talia is an upgraded version of your Ezra Sand Soldiers deck, where you are just purely focusing on generating bigger Sand Soldiers like Sandstone Chargers, which is 2 for 5/2, 2 cost for a 5 attack creature, but you are summoning it through your landmark, using Talia to duplicate that landmark, so you can summon 2 Sandstone Chargers, and using Katarina to rally and summon waves of Sandstone Charger to keep on attacking your opponent. That's basically how it is. Interesting deck. Really love Talia. I'm gonna play more of Talia. Actually, I really like the direct damage effects that she gives. Kyrie Fearsome deck. Kyrie is actually one of the most interesting creatures, and I feel that they should probably give him a champion card. Like, he's such a cool character, and I think there might be a chance because he has a student card, he has a Kyrie the return card, and hopefully he ascends, then that will be the champion, isn't it? And beyond that, I think this deck is just very simple. We are trying to focus on Kyrie since he has Fearsome. Probably should start showing. I click around. I mean, it's a bit boring to see my face, right? Yep. So Kyrie has Fearsome. We play a lot of your standard predict package. We are trying to predict cards and predict Kyrie. So when you predict him, you are able to grant all of his copies +2/+2. And with that, we also play other combat spells that helps to frostbite our opponent, and this allows our Kyrie, which has fearsome, to hit directly at your opponent's nexus. That's basically it. Other decks that I'll be playing as well, that I'll be showcasing you. I actually created the videos already. What is upcoming is Xenotype Elnuks. This is something that's interesting, very interesting. It's inspired by a Reddit post where when they saw Xenotype Researcher being spoiled, they're saying like how it was perfect with Troop of Elnuks because you can potentially buff your Elnuks and you can summon Troop of Elnuks since its ability says that for the top 6 cards you can summon each Elnuk. And if you are lucky enough, your Xenotype Researcher can buff your Bull Elnuk and you cast your Troop of Elnuks, you can summon this Bull Elnuk for free, which is like super buff. Basically, this deck is kind of like a mix between a combination of Overwhelm, creatures with a mid-range, that kind of style. You have a lot of cards that generates a lot of buffs for your creatures in your deck, and they become very powerful that they can outtrade your opponent, and you are able to establish like board advantage, and you can deal lethal damage with your cards like Battle Fury or Feel the Rush and your Overwhelm creatures here. That's basically the idea, and this is quite an interesting deck. Straightforward, easy to play. The next one is Battering Ram. Battering Ram is okay. I mean, like, it's interesting. We are using Battering Ram and Cataclysm to try and activate its attack effect. Cataclysm starts a free attack to challenge an enemy, and you try to activate our Battering Ram. This is quite an interesting deck. I mean, a lot of people has been creating Cataclysm with Hecarim, but for some reason my mind just didn't went that way. I just find it more interesting to combine it with Battering Ram, but this is like a subpar version of the Hecarim combo. But it's still fun to play. And besides that, I've been playing Snapvine Azure. I think this is one of the most, this is one of the unique decks that were first created when the set was released in the first 3 days. Like, this is the first one that came to mind to a lot of people, and I only just started playing it now. You are just converting your Sand Soldiers to become Snapvines, and that's basically it. And we have our Exalted Poro Azure deck. Basically, this combo is just focusing on trying to level up our champion, and by that time it levels up, you can cast Destined Poro to transform him into a Exalted Poro, and you will gain all the 3 keywords. And these 3 keywords, you are hoping that it gets elusive, and with that you just give it all to grant the keywords from Exalted Poro to all your other creatures, and you are able to raise all your allies' power and health to the highest. You can't really depend on Exalted Poro for the stats. You definitely need some strong creatures, minimally like a 4/3 creature, and the keywords you are depending on Exalted Poro, and you're hoping that you get a situation where you cast Give It All and every creature has elusive, minimally elusive, so you can direct attack your opponent to win the game in a single turn. Yeah, this is like a final move. Other than that, like, if you can't do this, then you are dead. But it's still quite interesting. So these are the decks I've been playing. Let's just look at what is happening in the meta right now. Let me click away from here. So hopefully I do it right this time. Yes, you can see the screen now. You can see the meta tier list from Mobalytics. Ignore the ads for now. I can't be bothered to block it. Free views for them. As you can see, they have actually updated the meta tier list with the new cards, like the new deck. And you can see that the S tier decks are actually your old decks. And I would guess that since the cards are new and we only have 1 week, generally all your pros are actually just relying on older decks because they're actually been optimized and they are actually very strong, and this allows them to take advantage of a lot of people trying out new decks, and with a more solid optimized deck, you are definitely going to beat decks that are sub-optimized with all the new cards. Hence, this might explain why all the old decks are in the top S, like tier S spot. But that's not important. We are looking at the new decks that are in the meta. You can see that the new cards, the new decks are Azure, Shadow Owls. So this is something that's similar to what Swim has been playing to rank up to Masters. It's like they call this the burn deck. But I think his card choices is a bit more different. It goes hyper aggressive. So I don't think he has Spirit Leech and Rune Runner. Everything is low cost, and I saw like one gameplay of his that managed to destroy an opponent in turn 3, which is insane. And this might actually be a good deck for you to rank up in the early stages as well. I think generally in the early stages of rank, aggro decks are actually very strong as compared to control decks, because you know your skill level is low, and at the same time you don't have a lot of time to play through a control deck. And this is quite straightforward. Just play cards on curve, go face. Yep. And I think aside from that, you can see that there's Lysandra Trundle, I mean typical, Lebong Severe, Shurima Overwhelm Azure Scouts, Life After Death. I think out of all of these cards, right, out of all these decks, if you are a person who is short on time, you like aggro deck and you want to rank up quickly, or just want to win and just have fun. I mean most of the time you have fun because you win, right? To some extent. You want to go for Azure SI. Shurima Overwhelm is quite straightforward to play. Azure Scout somewhat a little bit more challenging, but it's still quite straightforward. A mid-range deck. Lysandra Trundle is not really an aggro, it's a control kind of deck, but it's still quite straightforward to play. I think the difficult one is Lebong Severe because of how weak the creatures are. Like these two champions are actually quite weak, so it takes a little bit of knowledge to try and play around like different cards, and I think this is kind of like a combo rich kind of deck, right? I think besides that, Life After Death is also a little bit complicated, but this one is like you just need to try and kill your creatures and get a very strong Nessus and use Atrocity to kill your opponent. But this is slightly different. You also can use Trash to summon your Nessus as well. Basically, this is how all the decks that are in top tier right now I see. Let's see. Kindred Timelines B. I guess that's expected. I think most of the Kindred Timelines I faced, I managed to win them. I think only one matchup on the first day that surprised me with the Dreaddraws combo. But aside from that, I think the rest is fine. But personally, if I want to rank up, I'll just go with the Swim Burn. But based on what I've seen so far, if Swim is playing it, everybody is playing it. So it might make much more sense to play mid-range decks. Decks that can actually deal with hyper aggro burn deck like Swims. That's basically the meta. I've been talking for quite some time. I think let's go to the tip of the week. I actually found this very useful guide, which is the Targon Nightfall visual guide that might be useful if you're a new player. Even if you're a seasoned player, this might be useful as well. This is the guide. Basically what this is it kind of encapsulates all the potential cards you can generate from different card effects, you know. So Celestial 0 to 3 is your Spacey Sketcher. Your Spacey Sketcher can generate these cards. So these are the potential cards you can choose from. 4 to 6 is the Solary Priestess. And 7 to 10 is Star Shaping, and Invoke is everything here. Nightfall, these are the cards you can get. They also have Daybreak and Dragons as well. And I think they miss out one dragon here, which is the 7-cost Empyrean, 7-cost Ionian dragon that is elusive. I think he only recently, not really recently, he only got dragon status like after Targon was released. These are the potential options here. It's quite useful, you can just refer to it. I will put the link in the description below. Oh, sorry, I just burped. I'm not sure whether y'all can hear that. Awkward. And meme of the week. Meme of the week, this is quite interesting. Meme of the week here, it says things to do when the opponent activates the Shurima movie. Okay, I'm getting quite annoyed with this, but it kind of makes sense, right? Like why they make the level up animation so cool, because you're going to be watching it every single time. And 2 champions is already very long, but 3 champions. Christ, man, Jesus Christ, this is bad. It becomes so bad. It's like it can do so much things, you know. You can just go, you can go to the toilet, piss, and come back, it's still playing. But it's funny. It's really funny. Can't believe it. I haven't really got to play like level 3 at Renekton and Ezreal and Nessus at all. I think the Renekton has quite an interesting ability when he's level 3, right? But I think generally when we reach level 3, the person just forfeits. So this is kind of unfortunate. Yeah, that's basically it. This is the meal of the week, and let's go to the mailbag section. Mailbag section. Wow, I need to drink a sip of water. Okay, I need to adjust the video for a while. Let me adjust it. Oh my god. Okay, I guess y'all can see it now, right? These are the comments that has made it into the video. Kenil, is that how I'm supposed to be pronouncing it? Another nice one. Really enjoy the chill vibe of your video, mate. Yeah, thanks for commenting. And really, I think the point of the Sunday night report is to be chill, I suppose. But I think I want to make it more well produced, but I don't really have the time to do it, and I think it just takes time to just get better. Like try to inject elements of like, I don't know, that looks better. But I think you'll get better over time. But I'm glad that people are enjoying it so far. Partik, love your content. Jared, I love the Sunday night report format, by the way. I didn't like prismatic cards neither, but in the new patch they added sound to them. Yeah, I didn't realize that there was a sound, and until he said it, right, then I go and check it out. It actually has sound effect. When you play the prismatic card, it has the shining sound, I suppose. I don't know how to describe a shining sound, like shing or something. But they should add another option to use or not prismatic. Yeah, I think it's a bit sad. I think prismatic itself, it looks bad. Sound wise it's fine. Hopefully they can get something special like video prismatics. That would be nice. I think Gwent, if y'all know, like a Witcher card game, their prismatic version is like their cards are actually moving, if I'm not wrong, or their original cards are really moving to begin with. Yeah, and I think our last comment is, oh, that's why I wonder what you mark it. Not very sure what he said, but anyway, you are always been commenting all the videos. Thanks for the support all along. And all of you guys who have been liking the videos, thanks so much. I think it really helps a lot. If you like the video, you watch the entire video through and you comment. I think video watch time is actually the most crucial one when it comes to YouTube suggesting the videos to other people. And I think that's about it. And I think we can talk about other stuff as well. I think some other stuff that I'm hoping to do this week is trying to create a, like what I said in the last Runeterra, like last night, Sunday night report, where I try to create a deep dive series. I play a certain game, and I think I might be working on a video where I play this game called Guardian Quest, kind of like a Slay the Spire-ish roguelike card deck building game. But it has a grid-based battle system that's quite fun, and I'm hoping I can play that and showcase to you guys on Friday. I think there's a concern on whether people is just going to quit once they watch it, but hopefully people are open to it. And I think besides that, I think what I've been watching a lot, I'm hoping to watch WandaVision. I think I heard it has been quite good. I only watched episode 1, but it seems very like meta breaking, you know. I think WandaVision has been quite interesting. It's not very generic, and the approach is quite, and I think I heard it's quite good. So hopefully I can catch it soon. But I think my interest lies more in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. There will be more actions. I think actions are always a good show, having action. But WandaVision might not have that much action, right? And I think another thing that is quite interesting also that has been upcoming, I think actually, sometimes when people subscribe, their deck pop up, like their YouTube channel profile will pop up, and I will just go in and randomly see who they follow. And I see some of y'all are interested in anime as well, and actually watch a lot of anime, and I actually read a lot of manga. And if you all have been reading the My Hero Academia manga, I think it has progressed quite far, and wow, this last week's chapter was crazy. So much new revelations, and hopefully this week's chapter has even more interesting information. I'm just excited for the new season of My Hero Academia. I don't know why people doesn't like My Hero Academia a lot. I think some of the YouTubers don't really like it that much, like the anime YouTubers. And I think it's fine though. It's very generic, but actually it's quite interesting. It's quite a deep show if you analyze it. And it's also quite a very touching story, I feel. It might be a bit draggy for some people. I think a lot of people are more interested in Jujutsu Kaisen. That is also quite good. I like that as well. Yeah, both are pretty good. I mean, I don't really discriminate which one is good or bad. If it's good, I just watch it. There's no difference here for me. But anyway, that's the end of the report, and these are all the things that I've been watching and interested in, and thanks for watching. Wow, 20 minutes. I think this is a good length. I think the next report we should keep it to this length and just talk about these kind of things. And thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.